They told stories about Lucien Draven like frightened towns told stories about winter like it was a living thing that listened. They said he could taste lies in the air and hear a heartbeat through stone, that his palace in the night realm was built from the bones of old kingdoms, and that his shadow moved even when he stood still. Mothers used his name as a warning, and soldiers tightened their grips on spears when the moon went thin. No one spoke of the smaller things. No one spoke of the traveler who woke to find his frost-bitten boots mended beside the fire, or the child found safe on a riverbank wrapped in a warm cloak scented with night-blooming flowers, or the old chapel whose candles never went out even in storms. They only spoke of the king. And Lucien let them, because fear was simpler than truth. That afternoon, he walked through a bright, ordinary city where people believed life was made of music, errands, and coffee steam. He wore a dark coat too heavy for daylight and gloves that hid his hands. Strangers glanced at him and looked away, unsettled without knowing why, as if their instincts recognized something old and powerful beneath his quiet steps. He stopped outside a crowded club because the bass thumped through the door like a second heartbeat. A sign promised a daytime showcase, local artists, free entry, bring your heart. Lucien's fingers hovered over the handle, then hesitated. He could turn away, like he had turned away from so many doors in his life, telling himself it was for safety, for order, for the kind of power that could protect what he loved. But something had pulled him here, a thread of familiar magic, a scent like moonlit jasmine and cedar smoke, and under it a bright young heartbeat his own blood recognized. He opened the door. Sound and light rushed over him, cheers, clapping, phones raised, colored bulbs drifting across a crowded room. The air smelled of citrus and perfume and human warmth. Lucien stepped inside and everything narrowed to the stage. A woman stood at the microphone, graceful in a simple black dress, her presence steady enough to tilt the whole room toward her. Beside her stood a girl with a guitar, smiling with the easy confidence of someone who still believed the world could be kind. Lucien stopped breathing for a moment. Seraphina! Elara! He had searched for them through years that tasted like ash, through shadows, through rumors, through sleepless nights where grief turned him cold. He had imagined their faces in mirrors and dreamed of Elara's laughter without ever hearing it in waking life. And now, in the middle of an ordinary day, they were real, singing under stage lights to strangers. The most feared vampire king stood among humans and could not move. Seraphina began to sing. Her voice was calm and sincere, not loud but impossible to ignore, as if she had learned to carry pain without spilling it. Elara's guitar wove bright notes beneath her, and when Elara hit one wrong chord, she laughed softly and corrected it without shame. The crowd cheered, charmed by her. Lucien's chest tightened, not with fear but with something aching and tender. He had imagined his daughter's life as a list of dangers. He had never dared imagine her laughing, safe enough to be imperfect. The song drew Lucien backward into memory. Long ago he had chosen power the way a drowning man chooses air. He told himself the night realm needed a ruler who did not hesitate, who did not soften, who did not let enemies see tenderness. He wore harshness like armor, believing love was a weakness. Seraphina had asked him to stop, to leave the court behind, to raise their daughter away from marble halls and midnight politics. Lucien had said, not yet. Not until they were safe. Not until his power was enough to protect them. But the world he built became a cage. Enemies circled not because Seraphina was weak, but because she was loved. Love made Lucien predictable. One night, with Elara asleep against her shoulder, Seraphina said, "Steady and calm, if you cannot leave the throne, then I will." Lucien had laughed because he couldn't imagine the night realm without her. Seraphina's calm frightened him more than anger. "I will," she said, "because I won't let our daughter become your hostage to power." By morning, they were gone. Lucien searched for years afterward, furious and desperate, yet finding nothing. His court mistook his quiet for cruelty, but it was grief packed so tightly it hardened. Still, even in that silence, he did small things no one connected to him, left coin for families who needed it, warned hunters away from cursed woods through their dreams, stood on rooftops through storms to pull the worst winds away from fragile homes. He did it not for praise, not even for forgiveness, but because Seraphina had once told him, "Power isn't what you can take. It's what you choose not to." As Seraphina sang, her eyes swept the crowd, subtle and sharp, and found him. Lucien braced for anger, for blame. But Seraphina didn't look angry. She looked tired and hurt. Their eyes held, and in that silent exchange Lucien understood the truth he had avoided. He hadn't lost them only because the world was dangerous. He had lost them because of himself, because of 1,000 small choices that put the crown before a heartbeat, because of fear he never admitted, because of love he tried to secure instead of simply living. The song ended and applause rose like warm rain. Elara bowed, cheeks pink. Seraphina smiled, then whispered something to her. Lucien stayed in the back, a shadow among bright people, afraid, not of enemies, but of being seen as he truly was, not a king, not a monster, just a man who had failed at what mattered. He turned to leave before he disrupted their life again. Then the lights flickered. Not as an effect, something wrong, like a candle reacting to a door opening where it shouldn't. Lucien's senses sharpened. Beneath the human sense, he caught it, old metal, rain on iron. Vampires. Strangers. Hunters. 3 figures slipped in near the entrance, dressed like anyone else, but moving too smoothly for daylight. Their gazes didn't wander, they searched. One, tall, hair like wet ash, lifted his head as if tasting the air, and his eyes fixed on the stage. Elara laughed at something Seraphina said, brushing her mother's arm. A simple, loving gesture, bright as a flare to anyone tracking royal blood. Lucien's hands curled under his gloves. Vampire law said the king must not reveal himself publicly in the human world. His existence was supposed to be a myth, his presence in daylight a dangerous breach. But older than law, older than thrones, was the vow written into his bones: protect what is yours. For a heartbeat he considered staying hidden, pulling strings quietly like he always had. It would keep balance. It would keep his legend intact. And it would leave them alone with predators. Lucien stepped forward. Not with drama. Not with violence. He simply walked through the crowd, and people shifted aside without understanding why. The 3 rivals noticed him at once. Recognition flashed in the ash-haired vampire's eyes, respect, caution, disbelief. Lucien stopped between them and the stage. His voice was low, controlled, meant only for them. Leave. The ash-haired vampire barely moved his mouth. A rumor said the queen hid among humans. We didn't believe it. Then we heard a voice. His gaze flicked toward the stage. Royal blood sings differently. You have heard nothing, Lucien said. A woman with unblinking dark eyes tilted her head. "You're far from your court, King Draven." The woman's eyes narrowed. "You'd break law for them." Lucien answered without hesitation. "Yes." The rivals measured the room. Too many human witnesses, too much risk, and Lucien standing like a closed door. The ash-haired vampire let out a small breath, almost amused. "So the stories are wrong. You do have a heart." Lucien's expression didn't change. "This is your last warning." After a tense pause, the ash-haired vampire lifted his hand slightly in acknowledgement. "Very well. We will go. And you will not return," Lucien said. "For today," the rival murmured, smiling thinly. Lucien leaned in just enough for certainty to land like stone. "If you come near them again, I won't chase you. I will simply stand where you cannot pass." There was no cruelty in it, only promise. The rivals withdrew and slipped back into the daylight as quietly as they came. The club's warmth returned so smoothly most humans never noticed it had changed. Lucien stayed where he was, a shield made of silence. Seraphina had seen everything. Not the details, humans couldn't, but the truth of it. Lucien hadn't arrived demanding obedience. He had placed himself between danger and their child. Something in her gaze loosened, cautious but real. Elara leaned into her mother and whispered brightly, "Mama, they saved us a spot." "Mama." Lucien swallowed. He'd never heard Elara call her that. Not because Elara hadn't said it, but because Lucien hadn't been there. Seraphina guided Elara down from the stage and moved through the crowd. Lucien expected her to pass him like he was air and disappear again, the way she had years ago. Instead, she stopped in front of him. Elara looked up at Lucien like he was simply a stranger with a sad face. "Hello," she said politely. "Did you like our song?" Lucien steadied his voice. "It was beautiful." Elara grinned. "Thank you. Mama wrote it." Seraphina held Lucien's gaze. "We should talk," she said, soft, firm, inevitable. Lucien nodded once. "Anywhere you choose." She led Elara to a quiet back hallway and into a small storage room with folded chairs and boxes. It wasn't romantic. It wasn't dramatic. It was private. Elara sat on a chair, swinging her feet, watching with the careful curiosity of a child who knows something important is happening. Seraphina folded her arms. The light hummed overhead. Lucien removed his gloves slowly, as if showing his hands was a kind of surrender. "I didn't know where you were," he said. Seraphina's voice stayed calm. "You knew why I left." Lucien looked down, resisting the urge to defend himself with talk of duty and threats. Explanations weren't love. "I thought if I became powerful enough," he admitted, "no one would touch you." Seraphina's eyes shone with tired pain. "And while you built your power, I carried our daughter through nights where every sound made me flinch. I learned human streets, human money, human names. I learned how to be ordinary." Lucien's breath shook. "I'm sorry." Elara looked between them. "Mama, who is he?" Seraphina hesitated, choosing words carefully. "He is someone I knew a long time ago." The distance in that sentence hurt more than any blade. Lucien lowered himself slightly toward Elara's level, hands open, not forcing closeness. "My name is Lucien," he said softly. He couldn't say father. Not like a right. Not yet. Elara studied him seriously. "You look sad," she said. Lucien managed a small smile that felt like it might break. "I am." Seraphina's gaze sharpened. "Those vampires, you're caught." "No," Lucien said. "Rivals. They've been searching for you." "For her?" He glanced at Elara, then back. "I can keep them away." Seraphina's shoulders tensed. "By dragging us back into your world." Lucien felt the old instinct rise, to control, to lock them behind walls and guards. He swallowed it down. "Not if you don't want that," he said. Seraphina blinked, surprised. Lucien continued, voice rough but honest. "I won't take her from this life. I won't pull you into the palace. I won't use the crown as a chain." He held Seraphina's gaze. "But I can step down. I can disappear the way you did. I can be only what you need me to be." Seraphina's mouth trembled. "And what if what we need is not a king?" Lucien's hand went to the ring on his finger, plain dark metal, heavy with the authority of the night realm and the fear of the world. He slid it off slowly. In that small room, it looked almost harmless. He set it on a box like an offering. "I spent centuries believing I could protect people by being feared," he said. "Maybe fear is useful. But it isn't love." His voice softened. "No crown is worth our daughter." Seraphina's breath caught. For a long moment she didn't move. Then she stepped closer, not into his arms, not into forgiveness, but into something gentler, acknowledgement. Elara watched with wide eyes. "Does that mean you're leaving?" she asked. Lucien turned to her. "It means I'm choosing you," he said. "If you'll let me." Elara tilted her head, curious rather than afraid. "Are you really a vampire?" Lucien could have lied to make it easy. But kindness didn't grow well in lies. "Yes," he said gently. Elara considered that. "Do you hurt people?" "No," Lucien answered, simple and true. Seraphina searched his face for arrogance, hunger, the old darkness that had driven her away. What she found was exhaustion, unrestraint, a steadiness that didn't ask for praise. "There are rules," she whispered. "The night realm won't let you go easily." Lucien nodded. "I know." "And if they come for you?" Seraphina asked, voice breaking just a little. Lucien looked toward the door, toward the long night waiting beyond human streets. "Then they'll find I'm not fighting to keep a throne," he said. "I'm fighting to keep a promise." Outside, music swelled and humans cheered, unaware of ancient choices being made among stacked chairs and napkin boxes. Seraphina reached for the ring on the box. She didn't put it on. She simply covered it with her hand, as if quieting it, as if saying, "This belongs to the past." Then she placed her other hand over Lucien's bare fingers. It wasn't forgiveness. Not yet. It wasn't a return. It was a beginning. Elara slid off her chair and stepped closer, hesitating only a moment before taking hold of Lucien's coat sleeve, testing him the way children test the world, carefully, honestly. Lucien looked down at her small hand and felt something inside him loosen, something that had been clenched for years. Outside, Lucien Draven would remain a legend. People would still whisper his name with fear. They would still imagine a king of darkness and cruelty. But the truth was quieter. A man who finally learned protection could mean stepping back. That strength could mean gentleness. That love wasn't secured by a crown, but chosen again and again in small moments where no one applauded. When they left the club, they did so like any other family, Seraphina carrying Elara's guitar, Elara humming to herself, Lucien walking slightly behind, not distant but watchful. He didn't need the world to understand him. It was enough that, for the first time in a long time, the people who mattered most were not afraid. And in the warm, ordinary sunlight, the feared vampire king walked without his ring, no longer a ruler of night, but a father learning how to be kind where no one could see.